Good evening and welcome back to the Tony and Tim show. I'm Tony.
And I'm Tim.
Welcome to this segment of the show where we take you through the highlights of the week. That has been very, very interesting week, of course, of football. Very big news coming in this week. Of course, we had the Champions League draw coming back. We had the Europa League draw happening as well. So very, very interesting news there. We had some big winners in that particular evening where we saw Luka Modric being crowned as the player of the tournament in the recently concluded Champions League. What's your take on that, Tim?
Yeah, Tony. I mean, Luka Modric, before the World Cup, maybe teams or different the judges would have said, is it Luka Modric or Kroos? But I think the World Cup managed to isolate him as the best midfielder, and I think well deserved. He deserves it. Very, very brilliant. Of course, Kroos took,
Modric took home the best midfield gong as well as the best men's player, of course, and teammates. This was almost a Real Madrid sweep.
It has been like that, I think, the last 3 seasons.
So we had Cristiano Ronaldo taking the best forward ahead of Salah, of course, and again Ramos taking, of course, even a cheeky dig. Salah, of course, after getting that best defender accolade, and their goalkeeper Keylor Navas, who the team has stuck with at the beginning of this season, took home the best goalkeeper gong there. Very, very interesting, and kudos to that Madrid side. Lots of the Champions League draws that happened, of course, big games that we'll be bringing you on our Facebook page. We brought you all that group stage draw as it happened. We gave you what the final groups look like in that Champions League, and of course we'll be bringing you the Europa League draw as it happened. Of course, we'll be bringing you those groups, but turning our attention to the weekend, the business of the weekend. Of course, we know that tonight is 31st August. Very, very interestingly, this season the window closed before the season began, so we don't have the usual rush that we usually have. At least in the Premier League. Elsewhere, deals are still getting closed tonight. Don't forget, we'll be bringing you some of the big ones that will happen before the window draws shut. Big games, of course, happening at the weekend for all the the usual top 6 sides. They will be in action this particular weekend, kicking off things on Saturday with Liverpool traveling to Leicester City.
Yeah, that's a hard one, Tony. Now, this is where we're going to start testing Liverpool. It is they've had a clean sweep, 3 out of 3, 9 points now, topping the table, not considered anything. But going to the King Power, it's one where Liverpool has to be cautious. I was having a chat with one of the ardent Liverpool fans, and I told him, will Liverpool win this game? He's like, yeah, Liverpool have the ability to win. The problem is they're having an early kickoff, which came to my mind. I'm like, oh, hang on. His point was, Liverpool usually gets the result after knowing other results. Now this time, Liverpool has to get the result before other teams, and to me, I think plays a factor in. So if Liverpool go in a very desperate way, they might not get the 3 points here, but it's a tricky game for Liverpool, Tony.
Very interesting. Of course, Leicester have also started the season very well. They find themselves in 7th place currently in that log. So it shows how far how well they've started the season. Big problem for them as they host Liverpool is their star striker, Jamie Vardy, is out for a couple of games. He got that red card for a dangerous challenge. So he will be missing out in this game, and Kelechi now has to take up that number 9 spot. We know Kelechi has not yet kicked on in a Leicester shirt, so it will be very interesting to see. But Liverpool, talking about how well they've done so far in the season, 3 games in, 9 points, 0 goals conceded. One man that has come into my mind as I was looking at these games at the weekend is Milner. He's a player with the buys of Fabinho and Naby Keita. He's a player that most would have expected to be out of this side, but he's benching the captain. He's benching the captain, Henderson. What's your take on his performances?
So this is one of the ingredients you get from an English midfielder. They have longevity in them, and Milner is one of those players. No skill in him. He just gives you the work rate, which is doing perfectly well. And I'm surprised he's benching Henderson, just like you've said. And he is, I think, the key cog in that midfield, taking it. He reads the game. He knows where to be. And I think because of his communication and the time he has spent in the Premier League, that's why Klopp is playing him at this moment. But I think towards when the season gets in, maybe might feel fatigued and goes to the bench.
And of course, we know he's a brilliant sport kick taker as well. So it's very, it's been a joy to watch him, really. He's a player that I didn't give a chance to be starting in this season. He's benching £40 million signing Fabinho, who we hasn't seen anything about. So, who of course, who is excited about the challenge that he found at Liverpool. So it will be very interesting in that particular game. We'll be bringing you all those predictions on our Facebook page for each of the games. Chelsea will be playing after that game. They will be hosting Bournemouth, another team that has 3 wins from 3 starts. So it's a very, very interesting look to how they've started this season.
Yeah, Tony, Bournemouth has had a very, very good start. Actually, 2 wins and I think a draw there. But yes, they'll be eyeing Chelsea. They've picked, I think, points in the last season or one at Stamford Bridge, and I think they'll have that confidence going the bridge. It's just that
Chelsea, high scoring, remember it.
So they should be able to go there with some confidence, having not lost any game. But Chelsea, I think, is starting to pick the groove. The big players are coming back. We saw Hazard playing a bigger part of the last game of Chelsea. So I think it will be a good game, but Chelsea should be able to edge it.
Very, very interesting. That one, of course, we know Chelsea has started the season also brilliantly. One particular player in there has been their new signing, Jorginho, who has had a very brilliant start to the season, given how much he was bought from Napoli. So it will be very interesting to see how he integrates now with the return of Hazard playing from the word go. So it will be very interesting in this one. Chelsea play Bournemouth at 5 p.m. 3rd against 6th. That's a very, very interesting game. We wrap things up on Saturday night with the big one. Manchester City, who find themselves in 5th place after that draw last week at the Molineux Stadium. They'll be taking on a very, very interesting side, Newcastle, that lost narrowly last week against Chelsea. What's your take on this particular one?
I expect another defensive approach, Tony. If last time...
what a run for Benitez, though.
It's a hard run. I mean, I never looked at the fixtures, but today when I reviewed and I'm like, oh, Benitez goes to play Man City. It's another hard game for him. It's one we expect him to be defensive. He's not going to open his side. You said it, he better loses 1-0. So I expect him to go defensive right from the first whistle. It's just that you cannot defend City. Having dropped points at Wolves, they're not going to come easy on Newcastle. But I expect Newcastle to maintain the score to at least 3.
Very interesting. This Newcastle side, of course, was in action in the midweek in the Carabao Cup. We saw some goals from their new signing, Rondon, but they still were unable to progress in that particular tournament. So it will be interesting to see how they respond in this one. Manchester City, after drawing at Wolves, is when we started talking about the KDB factor. We know Kevin De Bruyne will be out for a couple of weeks. So it's interesting to see how they try and galvanize all these performances, making sure that they still create the chances. They didn't create so many in the Wolves game. Most of the shots were coming outside the box. So it will be interesting to see how they themselves also respond in that particular one. A very, very good game, watchable game. Manchester City taking on Newcastle. On Sunday is when we have a plethora of fixtures. Big games will be happening. Cardiff kick off on Sunday afternoon, hosting an Arsenal side that has been having a mixed season. They had their first points last weekend against West Ham. It will be interesting to see how they follow that up.
Yeah, Tony, I mean, Cardiff, what comes to my mind, I think the last time they'd come into the Premier League, their first win was over Man City. And these are the fixtures they want to play when they come in. Arsenal's dropped off the patch, but it's still a big brand. There's still big boys coming to town to Cardiff fans. So it's a game that I think we expect full house in this Cardiff pitch. But I do not think Cardiff has the credentials to be in the Premier League. They have not sparked everyone. We've seen the likes of Fulham. We've seen
Wolves. Last week, very underwhelming.
Very boring, actually, Tony. So this is for me a team that Arsenal should be able to walk over. If Arsenal drops points there, I'll be surprised, Tony. But they should be able to walk over Cardiff. We're still waiting to see who are the names in the Cardiff team, who are the players who will pull up this team. All we know, I think, is the coach. Warnock, I think, is the coach there. So Neil Warnock. So to me, Cardiff, it's hard for them.
Arsenal, of course, will be coming into this game after those 3 points that they got last weekend. Everyone still wanting to see Aubameyang and Lacazette getting into this team. This is the perfect fixture to play both of these strikers. If you want to test them in any particular kind of way, of course, Arsenal are now in the Europa League, so it will be interesting to see. Maybe the coach might be thinking they have long trips they might be trying to play those players while switching them up. Burnley host a very, very volatile Manchester United, which has started the season well and then dropped off by having 2 losses in a row.
Yeah, Tony, 1 win out of 3 is a bad return for a Manchester United side. And looking at this fixture, the last 2 trips to Burnley, United has not won any. And I was afraid that this could be a 3rd time in a row that they won't get a result. We saw Mourinho at Burnley last night trying to, I think, scout out and see who are the top players there. Burnley did not play their best team, by the way, yesterday. I think they had considered the 3-1 deficit in the Europa qualification.
You don't expect them to go out.
Yeah, but United has now to win this game. It has become a must-win for them. And that's why I think Mourinho was there yesterday. And I want to give them the benefit of doubt that they will wake up in this fixture. So it's a tricky one, but Mourinho and his boys have to pull up.
But of course, Burnley, having their versions of the Europa League last night, Manchester United will expect to come into this game more energized. But we know how Burnley has been. It's been an interesting Burnley side this season. I think the Europa League commitments have taken away a bit of the solidity we saw. Last season, they have conceded a couple of goals. Last week, losing 4-2 to Fulham, which is something that you don't really see from Burnley side. That's a lot of goals that they are conceding. And James Tarkowski, their defender, is one player that has been coming up with some goals. So you can see that they've started the season in a very, very indifferent Burnley fashion. So Manchester United really has to take advantage of that.
They must take disadvantage.
That slip. We've seen how volatile Mourinho has been in the press conferences. He came out again today saying he's one of the greatest managers in the world. People should start putting respect on his name. But for me, Manchester United, I need to see Sanchez, Martial and Rashford hitting all their top form.
Sanchez has to be firing. I mean, all these guys have to fire, but Sanchez is to me a player. I have not seen the Sanchez who was bought from Arsenal. Not any one game he has delivered. So if he has to start playing, these are the games you have to start building confidence in. And I'll be shocked if Man United lose this game and Mourinho maintains his job.
Okay, so we've heard in the corridors that this might be a win or go for Manchester, for Mourinho in particular, who some players expect to leave that position if he fails to win at Burnley. That weekend ending up with Watford, a team that has started very brilliantly.
9 out of 9 too.
9 out of 9 points. They take on Spurs, who are only second on goal difference. This Watford side find themselves in the 4th place, get crashing those Champions League places. They've been brilliant, this Watford side, under their manager,
Javi Garcia. They've been brilliant. I think the players have finally understood themselves. Last season, the likes of Pereira were coming from bench. But I think the departure of Richarlison has created that gap for him. He's an aggressive player, but also has a mind of, I think, a midfield player there. And Capu is in that team. Dokore is in that team, Tony. And Hughes has been a sensation at the right there. And now playing a 4-4-2 formation, I think also that galvanizes this side. And it's a game that Tottenham has to feel pressure. These boys of Watford are not defensive, Tony. They want to attack. And I think their
double partnership, the striker partnership, has been working for them with Andy Gray and Troy Deeney. It's not a thing that many sides are doing now in the Premier League to play 2 strikers up front, but it's working for Watford.
It's working for them because these are not natural number 9s in them. No, Gray is a guy who runs. He needs a number 9 for him. Troy Deeney also can hold the ball. He's like a number 10. So I think it's hoping for them. And when you look at when they're playing, these 2 strikers split. One is like a number 11 and the other number 7. Then one drops in once in a while. So it's working for them. It's a proven formation that I don't know why coaches deserted it, but I love a 4-4-2.
Very interesting, of course. Spurs coming into that game are also having 9 points out of 9. Very interesting. We know that their star striker, Heung-min Son, is away at the Asian Games. He's already qualified for the finals. In that particular showpiece, his team winning 3-1 in the semi-final. So it will be interesting to see how this Spurs side continue their bright spark that they've had under Pochettino this season. Lucas Moura, we've talked about him on this show. He's been a very, very big revelation for this Spurs side. So we'll see how he continues that brilliant form, and of course Hurricane. We'll see how he wraps up the August, in which he has scored 2 goals already.
Of course, you don't remove Hurricane from the headlines, Tony. And we are going into a month where he starts delivering. So I believe he'll be firing. It's just that Vicarage Road is not an easier ground for any side that
especially with the form they are in.
Yep, Tony. And I expect goals, just like I've said. This one I expect goals, and I've gone for 2-2, by the way.
Big predictions there. Of course, big games coming up in the Premier League. We have lots more action that more teams will be bringing you the full fixture on our Facebook and Twitter handles. Of course, TNT Live is the handle there. Of course, on Twitter. Don't forget to follow us. Don't forget to like all our pages. We'll be bringing you lots more in the news, predictions, and all around the football happening this weekend. Don't miss, and goodbye for now.
Goodbye.